These beautiful creations are actually cookies for rookies.
With our easy tips, you'll be baking these in no time.
Everybody Cooks starts now. Welcome to Dierbergs Presents Everybody Cooks. Hi, I'm Barb Marianne.
And I'm Marianne Moore.
Tonight we have some fun holiday cooking that we want to share with you. We've picked out some of our favorite recipes from the Everybody Cooks magazine. And in just a few minutes we have some fabulous holiday entrees that we're going to share with you. They're not the classics. There's some that have been reinvented and reimagined. They're wonderful.
And later, it's cookies for rookies. From dough to decorating, the steps are so incredibly easy.
But let's do first things first, and we're going to make some breakfast. Now, the first recipe we want to show you is our glazed donut French toast. And this is really a fun recipe to make. It's easy to do. It's kind of like a bread pudding variation, and it's not overly sweet, even though you start this recipe with a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts that you'll pick up at Dierbergs Bakery. Now, the first step is that you cut the donuts in half, you put them on a wire rack, and you let them dry for several hours. And the hard part of the recipe is keeping the family away from the donuts while they're sitting out. Then you can take half of the donuts and you layer them in the bottom of a 9 by 13 inch casserole dish. You can take some of the extra pieces and just kind of fill in all the holes. About 8 of them will fit in the bottom of the dish, and then the little pieces just fit right in. And now we're ready to make a custard. I have a mixture of eggs and half. I'll add some vanilla extract to that. And for some extra flavor, we'll add some cinnamon. And I'm also going to use some grated nutmeg. Now, when you buy the whole nutmeg, you just buy that in the spice aisle, and it adds a really nice fresh flavor to the dish, whatever it is that you're baking. And the whole nutmeg will keep practically forever in your pantry. So we'll just whisk this mixture together. And I'll take half of this custard mixture and I'm just going to pour it right over the top of the donut halves. You want to try to coat everything fairly evenly. And you'll notice that there is no sugar in this custard. The reason is that you're going to get all of the sweetness right from the donuts. Now we're ready to layer on the rest of the donut halves. We'll just place those on top. And this time we put the cut sides down so that it looks really pretty. And we'll fill in again with some more of the cut pieces. And the final step is to pour the rest of the custard right over the top, again trying to make sure that everything is evenly moistened. And that's all there is to it. How easy is this to make? You just cover the dish, you put it in the refrigerator so it's a perfect make-ahead, and then in the morning the only thing you need to do is bake it for about 25 or 30 minutes. Now I have one that's just come out of the oven. You need to let it rest for just maybe 15 minutes or so before you're ready to serve. And you can see that it gets all puffed up. It's absolutely wonderful. When you serve it, you can just cut it so that each donut actually becomes one serving. And we can use just a little dusting of powdered sugar. It almost looks like you have snow on the plate when you do this. And we can add a strawberry for a pretty garnish. Just have one that's cut in half, and we'll lay that right alongside. And you don't need syrup for this recipe. It's plenty sweet on its own, but what I love to do is serve it with a mixture of fresh berries. Now, we have another recipe to show you. Marianne, what are you working on?
I'm working on an Italian breakfast strata, but I'm really thinking about digging into that French toast. It looks amazing. Yeah. This is another one of our great make-ahead dishes. It starts with a crusty Italian bread. I use Dierbergs Bakery Italian bread. It comes in a twin loaf. All you have to do is just cut it into cubes, lay it on a jelly roll pan to dry. It takes about 8 hours or so. So if you want to speed the process up, put it in a low oven. That works really well. I started with half the bread in the pan, and now for the sun-dried tomatoes. Scatter those over the top of the bread. And now for the rotella. There is so much flavor in this little loaf. It's creamy mozzarella, prosciutto, which is an Italian cured ham, and even just a little bit of basil. It's easy to just slice into pieces and then give it a nice rough chop. Scatter that right over the top of the sun-dried tomatoes as well. Snip a little bit of parsley into some eggs and to some milk. Using a bowl and a scissors makes it really easy to get a nice chop on it. Everything stays in the bowl and not on your board. Half the mixture goes over the top of the layers. Finally, that last layer of this crusty bread. And the last bit of the milk and egg mixture. Now, this needs to sit overnight in the refrigerator, but make sure that when you pull it out in the morning to bake it, let it sit on your counter for about 15 minutes or so. That takes the chill off the dish and everything will bake evenly and pretty quickly. I have one that's ready to go. It's beautiful, crusty, gorgeous. All it needs is a bit of Parmesan cheese on the top to finish it off. And between that French toast and this strata, we have an amazing breakfast table.
It is really delicious. Now in the magazine we have a fruit recipe to go with that. It's a little salad that is just light and refreshing, and it'll go with either of these recipes. And I love having something that's not so heavy in the morning too.
I do too. And speaking of that, I also like to serve a little mocktail or even a cocktail if you wish. This is our cranberry lime sparkler. It starts with some cranberry lime juice, and it's a beautiful pitcher drink as well. It's nice to sit out on a buffet, and then just add some sparkling lime water to that and pour that in. And then if you'd like to spike it up a little bit, Chambord works beautifully, or really your favorite vodka as well. And I think it's really a nice twist on a mimosa, because everybody serves those, so why not do something fun?
And a simple little garnish. I have some cranberries that are on a skewer that we can just float right on the top.
I love that
Put
one.
a lime slice in there, or how about a little curl of some lime peel? Can hang that right on the edge of the glass. What fun is that?
That's really pretty.
Yeah, so for Christmas morning, here you go. We've got everything ready. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have some fabulous entrees that have been reimagined, reinvented, and revived. So don't go away, and we'll be right back.